there. So, how to stop procrastinating around your niche. So, I work with a lot of coaches, and one of the biggest things that they get stuck around is deciding what their niche is going to be. We all get told that having a niche is really important if we want to get more clients, that we need to be really clear and specific about what it is that we do and who we help. But when we try to get so clear, we get really confused. It can be really easy to look at all the other coaches out there who are doing lots of great work and start to get lots of comparison. We can get really stuck. And often what happens is this procrastination can be actually really difficult for our business because it creates something that I like to call niche paralysis, because we just kind of don't move forward with our business because we feel that we can't, because our niche isn't clear enough. And I actually think that that's worse than just going ahead with a niche that perhaps you don't believe is clear enough when actually it is. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to get over niche procrastination, how to move through niche paralysis, and a kind of a different way to approach niching if you're a coach. So first things first, I think a big part of this is mindset. And for me, it's thinking about actually your niche as a coach is going to develop and evolve the more you practice what you do. So just to give you a quick example, I started my business as a health coach. I actually started a little bit before that as kind of a health and wellness blogger, and then I trained to become a health coach, and my kind of focus was on weight loss, a little bit of hormone support and things in there as well. And then that kind of developed into more self-care kind of type work. And then eventually I started doing more work with other coaches because I had lots of coaches coming to me asking for advice and support because they'd seen how I'd grown my own coaching business. And then now, most of my work now is around supporting people to develop their own online businesses as well. So my niche has changed loads and loads over the last few years. And I think that that is a real natural evolution, and that, you know, we're not meant to kind of stay still as people. So sometimes I think when we take the pressure off thinking that we have to have this perfect niche and it has to be perfect from the start, and that it's not going to change, actually I think when we let ourselves off the hook with that and remember that a niche is always going to evolve, we don't have to get too bogged down with the fact that we have to find the perfect niche from the beginning. So we can continue and actually grow our business, you know, without kind of having that worry that it's not quite right, because it can evolve and change as our businesses grow. And then the second thing that's really, really helpful when it comes to moving through that niche paralysis is actually just focusing on the problems that you solve for your clients. So think about the people who you want to work with. What are the problems that you're going to be helping them solve? Or actually, what are the dreams that you're going to help them achieve? And a really easy way to do this is to think about the before and after. So most of us will be familiar with the typical before and after picture. Usually it's a personal trainer or something like that, and they've got a picture of someone before and a picture of someone after. I personally hate those kind of pictures, but for our businesses, what we can think of is like, right, what's the kind of, how would we describe our clients before they work with us? And then how would we ideally want to describe our clients after they've worked with us? And if you look at those two lists, you can kind of list them side by side. I do this with my clients. It seems to be like identify, you know, what problems did that person have in their before kind of stage, or what were they struggling with, what were they finding difficult, and what have you helped them solve or move through or change their viewpoint or their mindset around in the after stage. And that can really, really help you. And often when people come to work with us, that's actually what they need to understand. They don't need to have this crystal clear understanding of your niche. Really what they want to know is like, how are we going to help them address some of the things that they're struggling with? So that's a really, really helpful thing to remember as well. If you kind of feel like that your niche isn't quite as crystal clear as you'd like it to be, actually what's really important is that bit is a bit more clear, that it's clear that we're showing people these are the problems we're going to help them solve. And then the third thing that you can do to help you move through niche paralysis is to remember that the closer you get to the sale, the clearer you need to be. Now, I am a very multi-passionate person. I have struggled with niche throughout my whole business, although I've kind of just told you guys like what my niche was as I was, you know, over the last few years. It's something I've struggled with massively. At one point, I was doing both kind of wellbeing coaching and business support work, and kind of smashing it together, and then had two separate websites, and I did lots of different things. And actually, my business has always worked, and I think one of the reasons it's always worked, even though I've had these kind of confusing niche, like this kind of confusing niche, kind of doing different things, is because first of all, people kind of know me and want to work with me because of my experience, because I share quite a lot about my, you know, what I've got going on, what I'm interested in, a lot of which has nothing to do with with business development stuff, with business coaching or with wellbeing stuff. But I think people kind of know me, and often what I found was when I got really worried and upset actually that my niche wasn't clear, when I talk to people, through like my clients, through social media, people actually understood what I did, even if I wasn't as clear as I wanted to be. But what is important is that even if you have a more broad, I call this like the broad headline, and this is kind of the strapline you might have across the front of your homepage that sums up what you do. It doesn't have to be in this crystal clear. It can be if you want to be. If I'm guessing though, if you're watching this video, you're not that clear about your niche. So, but you can have this broad headline, and that kind of sums up what it is that you do. But actually what's really important is that the closer you get to the sale, the more specific you get and more clear you get. Because if someone's going to work with you, if someone's going to pay to work with you or buy one of your products, like they need the clarity closer to the sale. So you can have this broad headline, you can share, content on broad range of things as long as they're bringing in the right leads. But the closer you get to the sale, the more clear you want to be. So if you think about those things, hopefully that is going to help you. First of all, that mindset to remember niche is always going to evolve and change. That's totally fine. When you think about kind of what the problems are, or the struggles, or the dreams that you're helping people make, really focus on them and don't get too worried about kind of having this like nice little summary. Because often I think actually what this part of this is we're wanting to put ourselves in a box, and I don't like being in a box at all. And I think a lot of you guys, a lot of us are really creative. We don't want to be stuck in like this niche box. And like I say, I don't think you necessarily have to, but I think again, if you understand the problems that you're solving and certainly get more clear the closer you get to the sale with people. So your coaching package, sales page needs to be really, really clear. Any sales pages you have for products and things need to be really clear, but it doesn't mean that you can't be creative around the broader stuff that you do in your business, like your content marketing, as long as it's still bringing in the right leads into your business. So hopefully that gives you some things to think about. I cover a lot of this in one of my programs called Nail Your Niche. I probably need to change the name of it actually, because I don't think that really sums up the way that I approach it. But that program covers my kind of wholehearted approach to niching, which is a bit different from the way that we tend to look at it. So I cover lots of ways of approaching your niche that is going to give you that. Basically, it's not going to box you in too much. It's going to allow you to move through niche paralysis, stop procrastinating, actually start moving ahead with your business, even if you're not 100% clear straight away. It's going to help you think when it comes to planning your content, to creating really, really interesting, creative ways of resonating with your ideal client, which is ultimately going to help you get more sales, and just really, really fun ways to look at it, and also making sure that it's really consistent across your whole business. So you can check that out. You can go to lauraagarwilson.com/nail-your-niche, or you can check out like any of our websites and you will find that there. And I say any of our websites, I do have one main one. I am in the process of Laura Agar Wilson slowly, not being on the internet anymore, but Wholeheartedly Laura, you'll be able to find everything there as well. So that's wholeheartedlylaura.com. And yes, I am doing this video in my bedroom because having children at home when you're trying to work during lockdown, this is the real life situation, guys, but I'm sure I'm not the only one who's in this situation at the moment. But if you've got any questions about niching, about moving through that niche paralysis, or about the Nail Your Niche program, just pop me a direct message and I'll be happy to help. I'll see you again soon. Bye.